Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another unfiltered stream on the BrickKeeper. I'm Sam Jones. With me today are some of my very special friends from all the way around the world. We have Joe Chambers.
Hi, everyone.
And
both of you.
And from next door, just down the road, it's Cut the Craggle.
Oh shit, we're actually live. I thought you were just doing like a little rehearsal. You didn't even do the countdown. Where was like the
Do you know what? I realised after I pressed the button, I never actually did that. I was like, oh well, we'll just go with it.
I'm not prepared for this. I'm not even done makeup yet. Come on.
Hang on a second. Can we just stop and just do this all again?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever time of day it is for you. How the devil are we all?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you? You all right?
I'm in my dinner, so I'm sorry if I sound funny.
Well, you sound.
Well, don't worry, you sound funny anyway.
So with us today, we have Lady Sam B watching. She says evening.
Hello, Lady Sam.
Hello.
And we also have Jacob Neely, 2 times in 1 week. Yes, I have been known to do that occasionally.
Yeah, ask Lady Sam all about 2 times in 1 week.
Exactly.
That's more than some people get in a lifetime.
So we made it 1 minute and 40 seconds in before that.
Yeah. Hey, would you do me a favor and send me a link so that one of my friends can hop in the and watch us?
Well,
join, or does he want to join?
Just watch. I'll send him a link if he wants to join.
You've got the link in the group chat, haven't you?
What?
You've got the link in our group chat.
Okay.
I send you that's for joining. I'll send you the one for watching.
Amazing.
Oh shit! I almost dropped my knife on the floor, but I caught it because I have ninja skills.
So, Mrs. Craggle's also with us.
Hello, Mrs. Craggle.
Oh yeah.
And Lady Sam B wants to know what you're shoving down your throat these days, Craggle.
Oh wow. That's a loaded question in itself.
It's certainly not sausage.
Well, I am having jacket potato with chicken and bacon mayo and grated cheese on top.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Do you know the term jacket potato they have down in the US? It's not called jacket potato, is it? It's called is it baked potato or is that a roast potato?
Baked potato is just it's
potato with the skin on.
Potato with the skin on, and then you heat it up. Yeah, in the oven. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I mean, usually with food from the British Isles, once you're done boiling the flavor out of it, you do what with it? You're able to slurp it down or something?
Yeah, it softens it up.
It softens
You're
it
talking
up.
like we're still in World War II for crying out loud, you know?
Oh, you know I love you guys. Meanwhile, I'm just snacking on some raw
on these nuts.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, I called this stream the Flash Gordon stream, and I realised we've not even spoken about it once. But it's really going to be me showing off this pointy phallic-shaped object.
Oh, I was going to mention that, actually. I wanted to tell you, but I forgot to mention it before we started. I'm really sorry. I don't know how to break this to you, but I'm afraid that your UCS cactus build is the wrong color.
It should be green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
UCS cactus.
I think I got the picture on.
Yeah, I think
it's been looking at a dead one.
Cactuses, or cacti, I should say, are really hard to kill, but somehow my wife has managed to kill one.
They're the one plant that you can kill.
I asked my work for a reasonable salary increase in line with inflation and the increased cost of living, and they said the best I could do is send me a candle in the post that smells of old leaves and a little tiny cactus that my wife has killed within like 2 weeks. So
that's awful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So, for those of you out there who haven't seen Flash Gordon, first of all, what the hell are you doing? Second of all, stop watching this stream. Go watch Flash Gordon, and then
realize that all of the science fiction that you love, Star Wars, anything else, is a copy of Flash Gordon.
Correct. Flash Gordon.
Well, the original, not the 80s film, the original serials, maybe.
Yeah.
Comics, even. Yeah.
But
realize that George Lucas only made Star Wars because he couldn't get the licensing for Flash Gordon.
Correct. No, he's even said that himself.
Yep.
Which makes me feel good about what this is.
I would say Star Wars is significantly different, but it does wear its heart on its sleeve in terms of paying homage to it. I mean, famously, when they showed the first rough cut of Star Wars, the original film, A New Hope, before he was called New Hope, he showed it to a bunch of his director friends, and a lot of them just didn't get it. And I think it was Brian De Palma. He said to him, it's like, wait, if this is going to be like a homage to the old 1940s sci-fi serials like Flash Gordon, why not have like a previously opening crawl at the start? So that's how it started.
No. Now, when it came out first, when the first episode of Star Wars came out, was it called Episode 4, or was that added later?
No, it just said Star Wars. It had the opening crawl, but it didn't have episode number. But a lot of people think that was only added in the special edition, which isn't true. It was actually added in when they re-released it in cinemas in '79, ahead of Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. Anyway, Sam, show us what you got there.
This is the War Rocket Ajax. This is a big bad ship. This is the what some would say the flagship of the Ming Empire. It's now made out of Lego,
which makes it official.
It makes it awesome.
I also want to say how brave you are of telling your audience of 3 people to stop watching the stream and go watch a movie instead. That's how you get monetized, people.
You just don't have a care in the world. You just tell the stream to go away.
What are you doing? Get out of here.
Yes.
I mean, War Rocket Ajax, though, it's this amazing supposed to be warship, right? It's supposed to be, like you said, the flagship of the Ming Empire. And in the film, it gets reduced to basically being a coroner ambulance.
Yeah.
They say, dispatch War Rocket Ajax to retrieve his body.
Yeah.
They can't just send out a gurney or something. Do they not have gurneys in space,
But they also... I'm not going to give away spoilers, but it is used.
Do they have a Quincy minifigure with that set?
Quincy?
That's a deep cut.
No. I had to think about it for a second.
That's the thing I've picked up on recently. Is that I think it's because of the Mandalorian, the making of, when I watched that, when they call like obscure reference a deep cut, which confuses me because in the UK, if you say a deep cut, it means basically that you've hit like someone's sore point. You've wounded them.
Could be real deep.
Apparently, in geek terms, a deep cut is a reference to something, obscure.
Obscure, yeah.
Interesting.
Did you not know that?
Well, I've picked it up, but I still don't fully think it's sounds correct. But
okay.
And neither did that sentence either, so well.
I think Jacob Neely's taking it to heart. Because he's out of it.
Wow.
Jacob, we've been asking you to, I don't know, just leave. Just kidding, man.
It's a bad stream if Jacob Neely's leaving.
I know. He's like, yeah, this is going downhill quick. Peace.
Yeah, normally it takes 10 minutes for it to gain some traction and go downhill, but started early.
He's like the Keith Richards of live streams. And what I mean by that is that a scientist once did an experiment and realized that if there was a nuclear apocalypse, there'd be only two things left alive, a cockroach and Keith Richards. And I didn't fancy calling Jacob Needy a cockroach, so I went with Keith Richards.
Which would you rather be called? A cockroach? Yeah, or Keith Richards.
I'm not actually sure now which one was the most insulting.
Yeah, I don't either.
I can just imagine, like, okay, Keith, hey, it's time to go out on stage, buddy. Guitar. And then he just, like, starts wailing on it.
I imagine that before every public appearance, they have to strap him to this like doctor's bed, and then like look out where the nearest lightning storm is, you know, and raise him up in there with a massive like Frankenstein's monster to revive him, you know.
We can't play tonight. There wasn't a lightning storm. Or, oh man, okay.
Oh, I think Jacob's there. We know you were joking, Jacob. We were joking too. It's all in good humor.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being here.
We know you're sticking around for the long haul. This is where it's at on a Saturday night.
We appreciate your dedication.
Right. Everybody else will be out partying. No, right here.
Right here.
From the corner of my eye, without my glasses on, I thought for some reason that Joe had suddenly got the Disney castle, then realized it's just a bunch of rockets in the corner. In the corner of my eye, like it looked like the different fires of a castle.
Oh no. There's no castles in here. You'd have to go to our basement where the Hogwarts is and Diagon Alley and.
Oh, you have the giant Hogwarts castle, right?
I do. Yep. It was my wife's Christmas present last year. Yeah. And she didn't like it. I mean, she didn't like building it because she is all about like the minifigs and like reproducing everything at that kind of scale. It is more of like an architectural set, if you ask me.
It's an odd one because when I saw it in on display in the Lego shop, they had it in like this display case that you could go around. I was just staggered by how much room it takes up. Also, the thing that got me, and again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's for the price tag of that set, the kind of market they're going for. How there wasn't like a single printed piece in it. It was all stickers. Loads of them on the inside of like the cylinder piece, you know? For the corridors, the towers, the spires.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, nah.
Craggle, you don't like stickers?
No.
Yay!
I never knew.
When I was in primary school and I was 6 years old and the teacher tried to give me a gold sticker for being a good boy, I slapped him in the face.
Craggle does not accept any substitutes. Yeah. You know what? I don't know why I don't like stickers on Lego sets. They just... I don't know.
Look so cheap. They look so cheap.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of like cheating. That's all I can say about it is it just doesn't feel right. But like, don't talk to Scott about that.
Don't get me wrong, like, you know, I've got my Daily Bugle set, and I will say the design work, like on the TV screens, is phenomenal. I love that, but my heart honestly grieves that it's a sticker and not a printed piece.
Gotcha.
But it's just baffling to me that Lego can sort of like, you know, throw up all these excuses of like you recycling the same molds that are ridiculously inaccurate, and they can, give us crappy stickers that get bent in the box rather than printed pieces. And then you have smaller companies, with smaller less resources, like Mega Constructs that do all printed pieces. There's no stickers in Mega Construct sets. And they need a new mold. They do a new mold. Now, part of me is I do like Lego's Restraint because I like the challenge of finding a piece and using it in creative ways rather than just making new molds all the time. But not to the detriment of the set. Like, particularly with minifigures, when you get something that just looks like, this is ridiculous. They've got buckets on their heads,
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is that Lego does have to be careful because they have a persistent market share. They have a persistent fan base. So if they create too many things, it gets kind of... I can see why they want to limit it. Like, they don't want to have too many different pieces that they have to have inventory for, that, they don't have to account for all the time. I get that. But I also kind of agree with you. Like, stop doing stickers.
Yeah.
Someone else who will have an opinion on this is here.
Don't.
It's Professor Spacetime.
Oh.
It's the four-headed security.
Oh, what happened to his room? No!
There is no Lego. I am.
Please tell me you didn't get rid of all your minifigures.
I'm just I'm cleaning at the moment.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I don't like this. This looks like, the after of a home invasion.
Yeah, this is the aftermath of a robbery.
How's everyone doing?
What are you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Good.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
Well, I can change that.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's feeling good. Go for it, Craggle. Take us out of that.
Take a swing.
So, do you have an opinion on something that I can have the opposite opinion on?
All right.
Have we talked about Mandalorian yet?
Wait.
Has
you
everyone
haven't
seen The
talked about
Mandalorian?
Or do you mean the Book of Boba Fett?
Well, see, that's I didn't even realize I made a joke because I felt like I just watched the Mandalorian episode again.
I don't even think it was a Mandalorian episode. I feel like it was just like Star Wars Super Friends.
Oh my
goodness.
Yeah. So everyone's caught up?
I am not, but I don't really. I'm okay with spoilers, so
Okay.
you can go ahead and talk.
Are you sure? Because it was pretty big spoilers.
My wife and I have been watching through all of the Spider-Man movies because we're going to go see the new one for her birthday next weekend.
Is it still in the cinema?
What?
Is this still
Yeah.
in the cinema? Wow, that's great.
Yeah, around here it is. So it was. Yes, let's talk about Book of Boba Fett. But I just made this realization after we watched what is it, Far From Home. I'm like, oh my gosh, to understand this next movie, apparently I need to watch 7 different movies from 3 different franchises, not counting everything that's happened in the Marvel universe, to understand what's going to happen in this next movie. And I was just like,
I think you'd be okay without it, but you obviously appreciate it more.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Craig on this one.
I'm not a huge fan of Marvel. I enjoy the whole thing as kind of like a really well-made extended television series.
Whoa. Well made.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Did Craggle just have a coronary?
Yeah, a little
I
bit.
think he has a different opinion.
I don't know. I feel like the MCU is far too inconsistent with quality to be seen well made at this point.
Especially if this is a phase, I'm starting to lose faith in the MCU.
What I mean by well made is production quality, special effects. Like they put
Special
effort
effects.
into it. Yeah,
It's consistently a okay movie.
yeah.
That appeases general audiences.
It's automatically at least okay.
I find it with Marvel is that it often covers the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, like a good Michael Bay movie. I was about to say a good Michael Bay movie. Anyway.
Yeah, but I would argue the special effects is probably the one area that I especially take issue with it being well made.
Okay.
Because in every single Marvel film, the CGO is always massively inconsistent. But it always gets a free pass. People always focus on the great shots and then they don't mention it.
Well, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they put a lot of money and effort into it. Not necessarily... This was extremely well made.
Do they put a lot of effort into the films?
No.
The important question is, do you think Tamara Morrison is going to make an appearance in the finale?
Yeah.
Did we shift universes? I feel like there was a shift in the universe.
We're going back to Book of Boba Fett because you kind of derailed us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Proceed.
I've enjoyed this, but this feels like it's
a cluster.
Yeah. And it goes beyond the simple thing of, I think people last time when they were expecting it to be a one-off that the Mandalorian, had a single episode to himself, saying that he's now replaced Boba Fett. He's more Boba Fett than Boba Fett is. I think it goes beyond that until they're clearly setting up their own sort of Filoni-verse or Favreau-verse now,
Yeah, and I mean, and it's like fine, but it's like all the new stuff. I was like, why are Luke and Ahsoka still holding on to this attachment thing? Have they learned nothing about bringing down the Jedi Order?
That was my biggest issue. I don't know if you saw what I posted on the Crackle Discord, but I said I love seeing Luke. I was all on board, apart from the whole thing of him basically saying to Grogu, "You can't have any attachments," because one in the EU, that was the whole thing with Luke, is that he realized attachments, bonds between those that you love make you stronger, not weaker. It's important to have empathy, and
right?
To other Europeans.
And these are both characters who had huge attachments to Anakin, and it's like right. They can't see what did in the Jedi Order.
But also, yes, but even like taking the prequels aside, and forgetting the fact that was kind of the Jedi's downfall,
which is generally advisable to put the prequels aside.
But in the original trilogy, if you just took that as the only sort of other source material for Luke's character, not the EU books, nothing to do with prequels, what was the thing that was like the through line for Luke was that he kept on going to help the people he cared about. Like in Empire, he leaves Dagobah to help Han and Leia. In Jedi, he's the Obi-Wan, Yoda, Leia. They're all saying like Darth Vader's beyond redemption. Leia says run away. Obi-Wan and Yoda say you gotta kill him. He has faith in his father, and he brings out. So to have him then go, you can't be attached to anyone. It's like, are you still Luke Skywalker? Are you the Jake Skywalker that we got in the sequels?
Yeah, it's. I'm disappointed.
I'm massively disappointed. The only thing I can think of is that I was hoping this wasn't the case, is that they're doing this to show Luke basically be a bad Jedi Master to tie into the sequels of why he failed. Whereas I was hoping this would almost kind of retcon that a little bit and show that he was a successful Jedi Master up until the sequels, which might eventually get retconned out of existence one day.
I liked the thing I liked about the sequels is that they showed that he had a traumatic experience that like kind of broke him. Like he was trying to do everything right. He was still that farm boy. Like he was still that kind of
get off my farm.
Yeah, no, he was still that like perpetually hopeful person, always looking to the stars, always being like, we can do this. We can bring the Jedi Order back. And then this traumatic thing happened, and he's just like, what's the point?
I know, but what a shitty traumatic thing it was. Oh,
I know,
I snuck into my nephew's bedroom at night, and I sensed that he was having a bad dream.
So I'm going to
get down to. I mean, I know that Mark Hamill said that he didn't get it, and to get to like where he needed to be to play that role, he invented his own backstory that Luke suffered more trauma. He said, like, you know, I kind of imagined, well, if he had a family and his family were like wiped out, which a lot of people were hoping then that Filoni might, because Filoni and Favreau, they've retconned quite a bit already, in all fairness. The whole, you know, the Disney mantra that everything from now on was going to have equal weight and continuity is complete bollocks now, because they've retconned a bunch of the comics and stuff. And other like, you know, the encyclopedias and stuff that have been printed, you know, since Disney took over. But I was honestly hoping that we were gonna get Luke more in line with the Jedi Master that we all thought he was going to be. You know, I mean, there was even talks of, you know, people saying, "Are we going to get Mara Jade in this?" Because it seems like they're leaning towards some version of the Thrawn trilogy. You know, and Mara Jade was a massive part of that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and if they said that Kylo had killed Mara Jade or something, then I can maybe understand why Luke had a massive trauma. I don't know if I would still think that he would go on an island to die, but I feel like that would at least be more of an explanation of how broken he is than my nephew had a bad dream and he like toppled my house over.
Where did he get Yoda's lightsaber?
Right, that's a very good question. Because last time you saw that,
you think Palpatine just picked it up off the floor of the Senate and just like, I'm gonna put this in a museum? Or
this is another thing that they've retconned, because in the comics, what's his face? The guy that was always stood by Palpatine in the Senate, the blue guy with the long horns. I forget his character's name. He held like this public meeting in
Bagugo or something like that.
But they had this like mass burning of the Jedi lightsabers from all the ones they collected from the Jedi they killed, and in the last one was Yoda's lightsaber that he held that they recovered from his fight with Palpatine, and he tossed that into a furnace and burnt it. And of course, that was considered a canon comic because everything now is supposed to be equal weighting. But obviously, it can't be because Luke's got Yoda's lightsaber in the Book of Boba Fett.
I guess he built one on Dagobah, built another one, you know, with all the natural resources.
Where's he going to get the Kyber crystal?
Well, we know they've already, like, in the Bad Batch, where you see all the 66 and it's Kanan, you know, it's Kanan. That is completely different to what happens to him in the comic, Kanan the Last Padawan. So that comic is now non-canon. So they're not afraid. I don't think Filoni and Favreau are afraid of retconning the comics and stuff like that. I know that the story group has been like pretty much disbanded now.
And then just to see Grogu flip around like Yoda just made me sick. Because episode 2 was like the worst thing that ever happened to Yoda's character. Because in my opinion, I don't think Yoda should have ever picked up a lightsaber in his anytime on screen.
Well, and you watch
was a master user of the Force and was beyond weapons.
Yeah.
I will agree with that.
And just seeing him bounce around with a little laser sword spinning around, like
you watch some of the behind the scenes where George Lucas is talking about it, and he's just like, "Yeah, and this is where Yoda's going to pull out his laser sword."
We've never seen that before.
We've never seen that before, and people are gonna love it. My spleen hurts. Hey, can I have another coffee?
The other thing I hated as well is that, as much as I do like Attack of the Clones, it is my favorite of the prequels, is the shot where he pulls his lightsaber, does this whole Matrix type slow-mo pan. I'm just like, you know. And which, of course, then Rian Johnson did the whole Matrix back bend thing for Luke in the fake lightsaber duel on Crate as well.
See, I'm not criticizing you for liking Attack of the Clones, but Attack of the Clones is the worst Star Wars movie for me.
I agree, but again, I'm not the kind of person who's like, you suck for liking it. But
Can you really say that when The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker exists?
The only reason, so I do have an official ranking of all the Star Wars movies, in my opinion, but I do rank the sequels above the prequels only because they're competent made movies. They just don't have good scripts.
Yep.
And
I 100%
prequels can't, just because of the horrible scripts matched with horrible filmmaking. But that's just my opinion.
See, I disagree.
I don't like all 6 of those films, so it's really.
Peter, when your opinion agrees with my opinion, I think it's fact. Then, so
I mean, it's 2 engineers, right? So
yeah, man.
Joe was not even a Star Wars fan.
What are you talking about?
have you seen what he's building?
I can't. Right. Okay, there it is, right there. Yeah. Can I? Hold on. Stand by. Can I share my screen?
Do we have to?
No, it's just
It
quick.
depends what you're going to show me, Joe.
It's not porn, I promise. Yet.
Oh, that's a shame.
I've been like pondering that render you've shared.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ooh, is that up?
It's my version of Lego's limited edition Nebulon V frigate. I made a bunch of changes to it. I'm building 3 of these for my big scene.
Oh, that's crap.
Anyway.
That's good, man.
Anyway, what were you saying, Peter?
There has to be a medical frigate.
Yeah. They were more than
what it's called.
just they were used for more than just medical ships. They were ships of the line. Anyway.
I love Attack of the Clones because I really liked how we got to see Jango Fett. I loved how there's this sense of foreboding of the film as they're getting manipulated into a war and they just can't get out of it. I liked the Battle of Geonosis. I think is fantastic. I like we got the sort of the whole Reno scene. And I did like Obi-Wan Kenobi's detective story. I feel like the mistake was separating Obi-Wan and Anakin when we didn't even have them together in the first film. So we're left then with 20 minutes at the start of Revenge of the Sith to illustrate that they're best friends.
But my problem is like with everything in Attack of the Clones, you have to ask, why is this happening? Because it makes no sense.
Yep.
So Dooku, Palpatine tells Dooku to take out Padme because he can't have her there during the Senate during the creation of the Military Act because she'll shut it down. So what does he do? He tells Dooku to kill Padme. So Dooku hires Jango Fett to kill Padme. Jango Fett hires about another bounty hunter to kill Padme. That bounty hunter hires a droid to kill Padme. That droid uses 2 worms to go kill Padme. And then as soon as the worms fail and they go chasing after the droid / Zam, why isn't Jango like murdering Padme? And it's like, from that sense, I understand the stories, okay, but like from a filmmaking sense, nothing makes sense, you know. There's just a breakdown in logic, and it's like, oh, everything's in the service of special effects to have a cool chase scene, and there's like no logic. And then just like the magical creation of this clone army, nobody ever questions it. I mean, they question it, but they're just like, yeah, I guess we'll use it.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't like.
And it's like, how did you notice a $250 billion deficit in the budget to pay for this army?
I mean, annoyingly, that stuff is answered in the Clone Wars cartoon, but it should have been answered, if not Attack of the Clones, in the third film. Because I remember being a member of the fan club of Star Wars at the time of the prequels, and George Lucas had a forward on the newsletter that got sent out, I think, like every 2 months. And he said, "Oh, you're going to find out the mystery of who Cypher Diaz is and how he started the clone army on Camino in the next film, and then next film came out, and there's not even a mention of Cypher Diaz. You have to rely on the cartoon series that came out 10 years later or something.
Right.
So I get that. But in terms of enjoyment, honestly, the most enjoyment I get is out watching probably Attack of the Clones is the one I can watch the most. Everyone says Revenge of the Sith, but I feel like they all say that just because it's the one where he becomes Darth Vader,
It's the one with lava.
Yeah.
What?
The younglings.
Yeah. I am a sucker for space battles, and I don't like that space battle. It's too goofy. There's too much goofiness going on.
Isn't that the only space battle? Well, I guess there's one in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. Except for let's try.
There's one Attack the Clones as well. In Attack the Clones, there's the whole that awesome sequence with Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter versus Django Slave 1 Attack the Clones is phenomenal. I love that sequence.
I guess when Joe's talking about battles, he's like fleet action.
Fleet action, yeah.
Well, you need to be more specific next time, yeah.
That's a space dogfight, which is
Star Wars, not Star Skirmish.
Hey, in all fairness, there was more friggin' space battles in the prequels than the sequels, and you said you prefer the sequels.
More space battles than the prequels.
Think about it. Like, what do we get in the sequel trilogy? We had the starfight above Starkiller Base.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said the originals. Okay.
No.
You're right. No. There are no space battles in.
Let me correct this because I want people to understand this. The sequels are only slightly better only because of filmmaking, not because of special effects. That's the only reason. I'm talking just technical aspects here. They're horrible scripts all around, with the prequels being much, much worse. But
I don't even feel like that is a valid argument in itself. They're newer films, so of course they're going to have better filmmaking techniques. Do you know what I mean?
They're shooting on film. They're shooting on physical sets. That trumps shooting on standing still.
There was a heck of a lot of CG in the sequels, mate.
I'm not saying there wasn't, but when you have like 3 films of people standing in front of green screens and not running into action because they're 4 feet from a wall, you can tell that they're in a fake space and nothing feels real. The biggest scene, like in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin tells Mace Windu, "Hey, I think Palpatine's a Sith Lord," they don't go running into action. They don't even do what's like a brisk walk because they have like 4 feet of green screen to work with.
No, because they get onto a fucking gunship when he says that.
They're in the Jedi Temple.
No, when Anakin tells Mace Windu he's already on his way to Palpatine's office, they're literally stood next to a gunship and he gets on there. Why would he want to gunship? He's going to leave when he's ready.
Maybe I'm misremembering then.
No, you're remembering correctly. He's like, we must act quickly to find out that this is true, and then they just both kind of walk off. It is a very like.
And like every scene with Padme, she's like sitting on a couch, and they just shoot.
Oh yeah, I agree. Is that in?
I'm just saying it's very boring camera work.
Just reduced to being pregnant and crying a lot, which really pissed me off because she's set up as this strong character that holds her own. In the last film, she just weeps a lot,
So whilst you were all debating about episode 3 there, you kind of missed the most terrifying part of me putting my.
Can I share my screen a second, actually?
Oh my gosh.
Because I've been called a liar, and I wanna prove something here.
You wait your turn. You wait your turn. I'm talking.
We're gonna talk about
me putting my giant penis on its side, and my terribly and poorly designed stand, because I didn't have an engineer do it, actually works. So proof you don't need engineers to build a good stand.
No, that's one of my favorite jokes is like, someone's like, wow, how did you design this? This is amazing. I'm like, well, I'm an engineer. Oh, of course. But I'm an electrical engineer. So it doesn't help me.
Okay, so this is going to get this video in its infinite future, in one possible timeline, demonetized. Go Craggle!
Go, Craggle.
Anakin tells Mace Windu about Palpatine. What have they stood next to? A motherfucking gunship.
Yeah, but look at how
Look,
slowly
he gets
steps up.
onto it.
Oh, he just steps onto it.
What
And
would you
it's like-
expect him to do? It's Samuel L. Jackson. Have you ever seen Samuel L. Jackson run in his friggin' life?
Yeah.
That is a freaking pointless thing to say. Oh, he doesn't go anywhere because there's a wall. Yeah, he literally walks from here to here. He doesn't need to run.
It's more how he reacts. It's just like, we
Yeah,
got to
I mean,
do something about this.
Okay, so I know I'm taking this from another film review as well, but it's
Oh,
like
so it's not even your own criticism. You're just like plagiarizing.
that doesn't mean that I can't agree with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a totally valid point. It's like you compare a scene like this to like Star Trek 09, where
Don't compare those
the
two.
where the Enterprise is warping into a bad situation and Kirk realizes it. He's running up to the bridge because it's a desperate need, and it's like fine, they were standing right next to a gunship when he told him, but it's like that was just a very poor, lazy filmmaking choice
what would
to make.
you want to do?
And it's
You'd
like
want
it
him
feels no
to be like
excitement.
panting to Mace Windu and have Mace Windu just run the 3 feet up onto the gunship.
They
They're
are
already
all-
on their way.
I'm just saying that he didn't have to be right there when Anakin
Yeah.
told the news.
So Craggle, I think
This is why I'm saying it's a bad filmmaking thing.
the
But where
point
would
is,
you have him then?
Craggle, it's like for this scene that is supposed to have some drama to it, it was put in this place where you can't have any drama. Like, you are correct, Craggle. Like, all he does is like, what's he supposed to do? The gunship's right there. He hops into the gunship. Well, it didn't have to be set next to a gunship. They could be talking somewhere else, and he has to stand up and go, we got to do something about this.
Maybe you're not remembering it. They're already heading to Palpatine because they're going to tell him the war is over, and they don't think he's going to relinquish his power. So they're already going like, we're going to,
Right.
He just
We understand that's what they've already set up to be. I'm just saying that was a very poor decision to build any excitement whatsoever.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily the.
It was the lazy
I
route.
agree. Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mace Windu, is always supposed to be this cool, calm, collected character with a purple lightsaber. If you see him panicking, running around frantically, like he's freaking assholes on fire.
I don't want him to be panicking. I want him to show some emotion about it.
The thing is, the whole idea is that he's already suspected this. They've been having Anakin spy on Palpatine for the start of the movie. But also, I would like an apology because I was told it wasn't next to a gunship and they were just walking by 2 people on this panel. So I'm waiting.
No, this is what I had in mind, is that they were in the hangar. I never said that he wasn't standing next to a gunship. I said he reacted very like
I'm
he
sorry, I was wrong, and your critique is correct.
You.
That was the most sincere apology I've ever heard in my life.
So, new subject, because we're not going to talk about Star Wars anymore.
Oh yeah, is this a Flash Gordon stream?
Peter wanted to say something about my giant mosaic that I showed him.
We can do that on his own stream.
Oh, okay.
I did have questions about why you have a massive industrial warehouse in the middle of your mosaic, but you know.
Oh, right. Yeah, let me pull it up.
That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
I know. Okay, where is it? It's.
My only guess is they were trying to modeling some kind of giant softbox,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason, I don't know. It's very interesting what they did.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Let me share my screen again.
We have failed.
Oh no.
What have you done now, you plonker?
I have failed, Anakin. I have failed.
Oh man, I'm just watching this. I'm waiting for Homeboy to just like.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an engineer here. Can someone design me a new stand, please?
Let me just hop on a plane, buddy, and I'll
Cheers,
get there and
mate.
I'll be like, why did you ask for me to come? I'm an electrical engineer. Okay, so in real life, this mosaic is about 8 feet wide, but you can see in the rendering image, they're using a real image for a reflection. And it looks like...
You know what? Maybe it's their custom HDRI that they took in their parking lot.
Okay.
To us, they're like, oh, this is what a sunny day in California looks like.
Okay. But like, I
have a complaint straight away.
Okay.
Where the hell are the stars? It's called Star Wars, not like
I haven't gotten around to adding them yet.
Well,
so you can just
come on. Here you are. Tell me there's no gunship in the scene with a gunship where you could be adding the stars to your mosaic. Priorities, man.
Is that how people fall asleep from boredom in Wales? Because I've never seen it before.
So, Joe, I must ask, why this aspect ratio?
Because it's big, yo.
It's big. I'm probably going to add some more stuff to it. I'm probably going to make the aspect ratio slightly different.
Okay. I'm just asking because I just prefer the cinematic aspect ratio.
I'm probably going to make it wider than it is taller.
Okay.
But when I got the Death Star mosaic to look like that, I'm like, I can't make it any smaller because if I make it any smaller, the details just start blurring together and it looks terrible.
So, I'm not complaining about size. I'm just complaining about like the frame from the film, like having more like a 2.35 aspect ratio.
Yes, and that's my intent. I'm probably going to make it wider in the direction towards the Death Star, move the Death Star over a little bit more, make the aspect ratio more of like, film ratio.
Gotcha.
I'm going to add shadow effects to Endor itself because in the film it looks like it's at sundown. Like part of it is going into night in the film. And I have to make it kind of match what the Death Star looks like, the light coming from one direction. So that's why I send it to you, Peter, is because you have kind of like that artistic.
Remember, Space Time. This is Joe now, not me. So you don't have to disagree by default.
Okay, thank you.
And unlike Craggle, if you argue with me, we can still be friends.
I'm trying to.
I'll put it out there. I am fine with a critique because the critique is an opinion. I argue opinions passionately, but what I took issue with is being told there was no gunship in the gunship scene.
I can't see why that would be a problem.
Isn't this what nerds do when they get together? Is they argue over minutia?
Yeah, basically, they argue with the only people that they can be friends with.
So, Joe, I think we need to take the arc length of the Endor that's in frame and try to match it to what's on the Death Star to see what would actually be in shadow. Because there's a chance that none of this is going to actually be in shadow, just seeing what's how the Death Star is illuminated.
Okay.
Because I'm looking at the length of the horizon, and it looks like to be about, if you go to the center of the laser and go straight perpendicular up, it looks like that section is just going to be illuminated. Because I don't think you have enough Endor to show shadow yet. And even if you do expand this, just because of the scale, I think all this part of Endor is going to be illuminated.
Okay.
Just because of I'm just applying approximate angles to the Death Star to Endor's horizon.
Yeah.
Science.
And I would say I concur with Space Time.
Okay.
I've done the calculations myself, and I've come to the same conclusion.
Okay.
That's impressive because I didn't do any calculations. I just eyeballed
I
it.
think my issue with this scene is Endor, despite all my efforts, it still looks kind of flat, and I can't quite put my finger on why. Like, why does
I think it looks great.
Okay.
If I'm honest, I feel like the bottom left corner is too flat compared to how it
That's
up right.
That's what I'm thinking. So I think I might need to like change the light green area of the left corner to dark green, and the light green or the dark green to light green, like switch those colors kind of in that corner.
Are you gonna put a gray stud to like indicate the show generator?
Or a
Just
big
one
white.
It's like a
space.
That's the thing is I paused the movie and I'm like, did they put that kind of detail in there? And no, you can't see it. Like I really looked at it hard, and it's no.
that was a joke. You definitely wouldn't be able to see that, but
Yeah, of course. But I can. I'll
We just get like a pop
around.
on screen when Spacetime makes a joke, so we know that he's not being serious. By the way, if you want to put me down bottom so you're not cutting off Spacetime, you can do that. I don't mind.
that's okay. My forehead's visible.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for your feedback. This is going to be huge. I don't know if I'm going to finish this year or if this is going to be a next year kind of thing, because it's.
I mean, if you need help building Star Destroyers, you know.
Yes.
Can I ask you for some feedback on something? Because I had this idea that I thought would be cool, but it's not working now for me. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Unacceptable.
I'm not going to tell Spacetime which way I'm thinking at the moment, because it just go with the opposite. I mean, I'm pretty sure he only took down his minifigures because I said they look cool. Okay, so this is actually a sneak preview of something that I don't think I've even officially announced yet, but I think you guys might know about it.
Exclusive.
CMF.
Sorry, Jacob Neely in the chat. So I'm not complaining about size, space time.
So this is meant to be Biff Tannen. 1985.
I love it.
I'm just not sure about this. The idea was that I would have what is used traditionally for a popcorn piece on top of a trans clear stud in the bucket to be like the soap on the top of the bucket of soapy water.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize just how high it would be with this bottom part. So I'm just thinking, do I just get rid of the trans blue stud and have just this, but then would that look like a bucket of popcorn? Or do I just get rid of this and just have the bucket of water?
I would say get rid of the white thing and have the bucket of water.
Yeah, I'm with Joe.
And I would actually make it a round tile, not a round plate.
Okay.
But how do you get it out of the bucket after you?
You have to tip it upside down and tap it really hard.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, that's one of those things. Just realizing that, I'm like, oh, that is one of those things that once you do, you might not be able to undo.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. I'd get rid of the white thing, the popcorn. But what does anyone else think? That's
two for get rid of it. What do you reckon, Spacetime?
I don't know. This is a hard one.
That's what she said.
Oh! No,
see
he
how-
said that. Never mind.
I don't know why it matters, but is the 4x4 going to be in it at all?
The
4x4 with the actual car, like the
Yeah, I don't know if it will be. This is a
No,
CMF, not a
This is a
set,
CMF,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I agree with everyone else to take it away.
Okay. So
Take it away now.
I'm not sure if I would put a tile. I think I would probably keep the stud just so you have a chance of getting it out.
Okay.
Even if it's a stud, you might not be able to get it out.
Well, at least you have something to like pry with a brick separator.
Yeah, at least you got something to try and grab hold of.
Like put your teeth around.
Sam, you're letting us down here.
No.
Oh yeah, so I got this one, which is for like his goofy smile, when he's the sort of fallen Biff, and then
the fallen Biff.
I got that one for when he sees the flying DeLorean.
Yeah,
I just wish they had like a comb over piece that showed some balding in the front.
Right, yeah. The reason I picked this one is that any Donald Trump one I've seen uses this piece, and I know this isn't the Donald Trump version of Biff, but his hair is pretty much the same, just more yellow.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, timeline-wise, it's the same, but yeah.
Yeah, it's the same year, just a different version of the year, I guess.
Yeah. How many figs do you have done?
11 out of 12, I think.
Nice.
So
You're taking the Lego route and going down to 12.
Yeah, I did that with Cobra Kai, and it seemed like a good number. It's funny, like with Scooby-Doo, we could have done we could have done like 26 or something with the amount of characters we had ideas for.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially for custom ones, I feel like 12 is a good number. But don't get me wrong, when I see an official CMF series and it's only got 12 figures in there, I'm like, really? I want more.
I want more.
Well, that's because I'm not working on them.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the designers at Lego are getting paid to make them, so why not?
But, yeah, I need to talk to you Space Man about the Gozer minifigure as well. Had some developments on that, but I'll talk to you off stream.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. I wasn't sure on the green originally, but it's brighter in Mecha than it is in Blender anyway. But I think it looks alright. But I'll just get rid of that because that was the popular vote. And thank you so much for your opinions.
Did we get it right?
Yeah, were our opinions correct?
Opinions are neither correct or incorrect. But there was a gunship.
That's your opinion.
I'm gonna have that on my tombstone.
Fake news.
There was a gunship.
Oh god.
He says there was a gunship. I didn't see a gunship.
Those movies were so memorable. I could remember all the fake backgrounds in them.
I tell you what, though, the one scene that it looks like they're in a freaking PlayStation 2 video game is the scene in Attack of the Clones where Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, and Yoda are walking down this like corridor that is it's not physically possible to have a corridor that big, and it looks like they're in a PS2 game cutscene. It's awful. So I totally get where you're coming from in that regards, and I think in that one they were on a treadmill, so they like take really small steps. And I'm thinking, I'm not being funny. If you're walking down that corridor and you're taking those kind of steps, you're in for a long, long walk.
Oh boy!
But we do have some common ground space,
and
not a lot of it, but.
If I remember, Attack of the Clones was shot digitally, so it is forever stuck at 1080p.
Is it?
So it was not shot on film.
Oh boy!
So there's no 4K version of Attack of the Clones.
Was it shot?
Yeah, they could upscale it, buddy.
And in each person's own opinion, that's either a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I mean, you got 4 pixels to represent a pixel, so yeah.
So at my job right now, I've been given what?
What's a job?
Oh no, seriously? I've been given the task to make a camera interface that converts to the MIPI standard. And I'd never heard of the MIPI standard. Do any of you camera nerds know what the MIPI standard is?
No,
I'm gonna
but
guess
Google
no.
is your friend.
Okay, never mind then.
I'm pretty sure you just made that up.
Nope, it is
Is that MIPI?
MIPI.
By the way, you're absolutely correct. Both Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were shot on digital cameras that record a 1080. But worse, because of the aspect ratio being cropping, they only use 818 of the 1080 pixels.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, what? They didn't even use the full.
No, so you can't even get a full HD copy, really. Not a true full HD copy of those two films.
Oops. This is
Like
when
with Lord of the Rings, when Peter Jackson went to New Line Cinema and said, "Look, we've got all this extensive footage, extra scenes, behind-the-scenes stuff. Here's the cost of keeping it on the archives in standard definition, like DVD quality, and here's the cost of keeping it in high definition." New Line Cinema said, "Oh no, standard definition is fine. So whenever you see like behind-the-scenes footage of Lord of the Rings now, it's always going to be in basically DVD quality, upscaled."
Wow. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was looking for a new DVD player, and there was one that was like, "Cool, this is an upscaling DVD player." I'm like, "Oh, so my DVDs will look better. Cool." And like, no. It
In all fairness, though, it depends, because I remember on my my old, was it PS3, I think it was, I set the settings on here following a YouTube video in which this guy said how to optimize the upscaling settings, and I put a copy of House MD in there, which was just a normal DVD, and it looked really good. Like,
oh yeah, I can imagine, like, you know, the AI algorithms they're having to like try to guess to make it look better, because they already do it for like photography, but just to be able to do it on a video scales, like, you know, you got to do it 30 times a second or 25, whatever your frame rate is.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, it's a computer guessing to make it look better.
Exactly.
But, you know,
it's basically like they stretch the pixels and they have gaps, and then the AI sort of guesses what would be in between those gaps, basically.
mm-hmm.
But can I go back to special effects and go into the Book of Boba Fett? How awesome did Luke Skywalker look?
Yeah, he's getting better. I think they hired that guy who did
The deepfake.
Yeah, so I wonder if he worked on that.
He did. No, he did. His name is in the credits, apparently.
Okay.
I forget his actual name, but no, yeah, absolutely. Because he deepfaked over, obviously, what they did. I saw another version where this like small effects team on YouTube like got their own stand-in and reshot it and did their own deepfake, and I just thought theirs, like, it looked okay, but it looked like a fan film. Whereas the guy who did the deepfake over the the existing footage looked phenomenal. And I would say there was maybe 2 or 3 shots in this one that I kind of went, "Oh yeah, that's obviously, obviously CG." But the very first shot of him, especially when he opened his eyes after meditating, I was like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
Like, this is existence of time travel. They've gone back in time and stolen Mark Hamill from 1983.
But what's also impressive is Mark Hamill being able to do his younger voice.
It's not him.
Well,
I thought they were crediting him.
They credited him because, well, he goes in there. If they did it the same way as they did with Mandalorian, he goes in there, he stands in, he acts it out, does the voice. He then goes to a lighting rig, which has like 360 cameras. This body double, who's like the same sort of pigmented skin and sort of height and build of him, goes and basically redoes what he did. And then they use deepfake or version of it for the face. But they also used the deepfake version of audio to recreate his younger voice.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I thought that was his performance.
No, he did, in all fairness, up until I think about 10, 15 years ago, he was actually really good at de-aging his voice. Because I remember on a panel that was, I think it was back around 2006, 2007, where someone asked him if he could do an exchange, or then what would happen if the Joker met Luke Skywalker, and he did the two voices. But when he did Luke Skywalker, he didn't just do his normal voice. Like, his voice suddenly went younger. It was weird.
That's awesome.
I think he has had problems with his voice. He's had a couple of severe cases of laryngitis, so his voice is much more deeper and hoarse. So I don't think he's able to do that now. But it's phenomenal just how far they've come of doing that. Like, if they can replicate your face and your voice, are they going to use like CCTV footage in court cases now?
Yeah, you don't need any new actors. We've already had all the greats, so recycle them.
Yeah, just get rid of them.
I mean, I've always wanted to see Marlon Brando and Orson Welles make a comeback.
I've always wanted to go to a parallel universe where Sean Connery actually stayed on and did On Her Majesty's Secret Service, since that book was written with him in mind.
Was it now? That's... Huh.
Because basically, long story short, Ian Fleming didn't want Sean Connery because he looked nothing like how James Bond is in the books. He said that he was an oversized bodybuilder. But then he watched Dr. No and he said he is Commander Bond. And the next book he wrote was On Her Majesty's Secret Service, in which he wrote in Bond's Scottish heritage as a tribute to Sean Connery.
Interesting.
But Sean Connery didn't come back because they wouldn't offer him the money that he wanted, so they got George Lazenby to do it. And we all know how that went.
Yes,
I mean, he's like the best Bond.
How that went.
Right, can we get a quick space time now? Just
I
get
don't
George
think anyone
Lazenby as
from
the
my
best
stream-
Bond. Oh.
I don't kick people from my streams. I just let them fester in rage.
I don't know. Maybe you get the best Bond moments per average time of being Bond.
Well, because he did one film. I would still say Timothy Dalton trumps him on that, because
I know, riding a cello down the hill is pretty fun.
that is definitely almost like a hangover from Roger Moore. But I personally love License to Kill. I feel like he was almost trying to do Daniel Craig's Bond before Daniel Craig, you know? So there we go.
Oh, View to a Kill. I love that just because of the old man with Christopher Walken. I just like when they're in the blimp and he's like, Max!
Or Christopher running.
Oh! I'm not being funny. I can pretty much watch Christopher Walken in anything, but you are right. He makes that film.
2 mice fell in a pail of milk. Cream. One struggled and quickly gave up. The other one kept struggling until he turned that cream into butter, and he crawled right out.
Oh, Christopher Walken.
As of today, ladies and gentlemen, I am that mouse.
I was just at the bank before I got to this stream, and I was just actually thinking of that Christopher Walken quote. What he said about banks. He's like, they have all the money. Why can't we use it? You know?
Okay.
Just another catch me if you can. You know?
Okay.
He's right. When he says about you're in their little club now, they have all the money, and one day you're going to want something from these people.
Yeah.
It's basically, he gives one of the most accurate depictions of like the capitalist banking system.
Yeah.
So I guess the other thing that happened is, what did you think of the Cad Bane appearance?
The what appearance?
I mean,
I got really excited.
it's fine. I didn't like that they killed Cobb Vanth, so
Is he actually killed off? I'm 50-50 on that, because it kind of him like in the sort of upper shoulder, didn't it? It wasn't very clear.
yeah, I guess it's possible. I think the deputy's dead.
The deputy's he's toasted.
And the deputy got him killed.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I felt like that was, I like when films, laid the seeds, but that was like, hey, the deputy's going to mess up and it's going to get someone killed, I liked it. The only thing was, I pretty much agree with the rest of the internet that his appearance could have been better, like his physical appearance. Like, I know it's prosthetics, but I don't see why they couldn't have done a little bit of CG just to like elongate the face a little bit and make him darker.
It's probably just me misremembering Clone Wars, but I thought the teeth were too sharp. I don't like the teeth.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, the teeth seem too sharp to me.
And I know, like, you can say the Clone Wars was, a stylized cartoon, but I do think they could have made the brim of his hat a bit bigger. It felt narrow to me. I just felt like someone's done it. There's a bunch of like fan edits of that scene already on YouTube, but one guy did it in a way that I felt was more true to the Clone Wars appearance, but still looked, realistically live action. One theory is because he's so old now that his species, their skin sort of lightens with age, but I don't know. It just
because the only live action of that species we've seen would it be the Cantina from episode 4?
Yep.
Okay.
Which species is it? Who are you talking about?
Dorm, something like that.
I don't know what the species is. No.
Yeah, because they had sparkly eyes in that scene, didn't they? Like glitter ball eyes, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than red ones, but I guess there's variation amongst the species or whatever. But
which is cool.
The other thing that bothers me a little bit is, as good as it is to see him in there, is that how many characters are we going to get, like, from the Clone Wars, like, and the sort of prequel extended universe that skipped over the original trilogy and now
right? Because this is the problem I had with Mando season 2. Like, it was introducing all these characters because hey, they're getting their Star Wars show soon, and
it's not even the case.
They're getting their own Star Wars.
It's just a case of they've skipped an entire era of Star Wars. Like, where was Cad Bane when all the other bounty hunters were called up by the Empire? The best bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Well,
where was Ahsoka? Where was Ahsoka when all this other shit was happening? When they needed her, like versus Palpatine and Vader.
She's like, I'm gonna go look for Ezra because this is more important right now. And
she
not find him.
Well, this is the thing, because apparently the scene where she says go looking for Ezra with Bo-Katan is supposed to be actually after the original trilogy. It's supposed to be not Bo-Katan, Sabine. Sorry, it's supposed to be like some people think after like Mando and Book of Boba Fett. That's why she's asking for the information about Thrawn. So
yeah, I don't know.
And it's like even Bo-Katan, like as much as I love Bo-Katan, I know they've had to sort of alter her age a bit because otherwise she should be like, quite old now.
But I guess also look at it this way. It's like every character doesn't have to be involved with every movie from every time period. So yeah, I can at least appreciate that.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it's like, I feel like Cad Bane, he's a bounty hunter. He's essentially a nobody unless, you're in the wrong side of the law,
Yeah, maybe they'll explain it. Like, maybe they'll explain that he's an old, like, gunslinger bounty hunter who's had his day and he hasn't been active for a while, but he's been brought out of retirement because he has a grudge against Boba Fett. I mean, the one thing that I didn't pick up on in Bad Batch, but I've since been corrected on, is that's like I knew one of you was going to say that. How there was a scrapped arc in the Clone Wars cartoon where Boba Fett and Cad Bane were going to be in a duel and they were going to shoot each other. Boba was going to kill Cad Bane, and Cad Bane was going to leave the dent in Boba's helmet.
Okay.
What are you laughing for?
The little kid, Boba?
Well, he would be a teenager at this point. Like,
Okay, it just still seems ridiculous. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, and it was supposed to be like literally him sort of, finally becoming a man and taking hold and, establishing himself as a credible bounty hunter by going up against Cad Bane. There was a thing was like, Cad Bane and all these other bounty hunters were there, and the other bounty hunters decide not to get involved and give the kid his shots, and he takes down Cad Bane. And a lot of people, even though that didn't get made, like the basic sort of animated storyboards and stuff were shown at Star Wars Celebration a few years back, and people have sort of taken it as canon, as that is the reason why Boba has the dent on his helmet.
Oh,
when it popped up in Bad Batch, Cad Bane, I was like, oh, okay, so that's not canon anymore. But someone pointed out that in one of the scenes where Cad Bane lifts his hat, in the Bad Batch, he's got a metal plate across the one side of his head where they would have shot him. So maybe that scene is actually still canon.
So that he has a beef with him.
So that's why he has a beef with him, right?
You would think with a profession such as bounty hunting, most of the bounty hunters from the Clone Wars era wouldn't be around after Return of the Jedi because, eventually your luck runs out.
Well, I didn't get when they included Dengar in the Clone Wars because I was like, well, he's a human and he looks about like 30 odd in, or maybe like, in The Empire Strikes Back. And here he is.
Dengar always makes me laugh.
It's just bizarre. Like, why is he around like between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith? It doesn't make sense to me.
I think it's because eventually people who are making these just don't realize how old people are supposed to be. And it's like, they're aliens in another galaxy.
Even the humans.
Yeah.
Which
Are they technically humans?
To switch universes for a second, I never knew how long Klingons live for in Star Trek until I watched Deep Space Nine. And on Deep Space Nine, you have Kang, Kor, and Koloth, and they were around in the original series messing with Kirk. And I was like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. And then I found out that I'm like, I guess Klingons live as long as Vulcans do. And I'm like, which is weird because I'm like, they're a warrior race and you expect them to die by their 30.
I swear, like, and again, like my Star Trek is literally only the like when I watched the reruns of the original series as a kid and the films. But I swear, in one of like, was it the Next Generation episodes I might have watched that they mentioned that like 30 something is still like adolescence or something? Don't they say that? What's his face? The Klingon who's in Next Generation,
Worf.
Yeah, don't they say that like by his species standard, he's still like a sort of bratty teenager or something?
Not that I recall.
I swear there's an episode like that where like and that's kind of like why he's so hot tempered is like that is because by their standards he's actually like kind of like a teenager.
But what's really interesting is how rapid Worf's son ages. Because he's conceived in season 2 of TNG and then born in season 3. And then by the end of Next Gen, he's like already like 6 years, like within like within season 6 of TNG, he's like a 8-year-old.
I mean, is he each series like a year without any sort of jumps between seasons?
And then by the time we get to Deep Space Nine, which is like,
isn't that confirmed?
He's like a young adult.
Well, here's another thing that kind of blows people's minds sometimes, is that we use terms years, but it's even less relevant in Star Wars when we think about a year as specific to our planet.
Yep.
Right, because that's what I always use to justify Anakin dating Natalie Portman. because he was aging twice as fast going around the twin suns. So as soon as he left, his age caught up to it.
Well, the thing is, like, even George Lucas himself has messed up the age of it. Like, I think I told you before that I had an annual that came out around the time of the special editions, and in the front of it is like this big timeline written by George Lucas, and in that one, like Anakin's supposed to be like in his 40s when he's Darth Vader in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
and then like obviously his kind of mentor Obi-Wan is in his 60s, so it kind of makes sense considering the actors they cast in the original trilogy. And what's even more weird than that is that the Clone Wars were done and dusted by the time the Empire seized control. The Clone Wars were a success. The Jedi emerged as heroes. Anakin and Obi-Wan were like celebrities, and it was a lot after that the Empire seized control.
See, but yeah, Natalie Portman was 18 years old in 1999, which means they started filming 97. So I read
somewhere she was 16 playing a 14-year-old or something.
According to Weird Al Yankovic, he was 9 and she was 14.
I mean, that is the same age difference between me and my missus, but like,
I know it's just
it's a different points in your life, though, isn't it? Like, like I would say the difference.
I'm 5.5 years older than my wife, so.
And it's just like she looks older. Like I never saw her as a child. I saw her as an adult.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's a bit weird. I definitely saw her as a child, which was why I thought it was stupid that she was elected. Like, I didn't like the whole thing with her being a queen but being elected at 14. It was just ridiculous. Like, if she,
you're in the British Isles. You know exactly how queens become queens. They enslave the planet, and they just have more things than everyone.
No, but it would make more sense. Like, we've already had like Princess Leia in the original trilogy, to have her be the queen of the planet, and like she's inherited this reign from her parents, and she's inherited it too young, and she's having to do it. That would make a more credible storyline than, oh yeah, I went into politics and then in Attack of the Clones she goes, I wasn't the youngest queen elected. You are 14. Who hires, who elects someone younger than 14, for crying out loud? I'm not just of a country, but an entire planet.
No, from the mouths of babes.
I mean, that's why they went into planet-wide panic when the Trade Federation started an embargo, because it's like they couldn't survive a day without.
Well, there's a couple of things.
Who said the governmental system was working okay? They panicked.
But also, it was a planet with no people on it. You just saw an empty city.
What I think is a couple of things down for here, and this is why it was ridiculous that George Lucas didn't have anyone helping him with writing these, is that I think he originally intended her to be a queen so that he could explain Leia being a princess, but then it was the whole case of, oh, wait a sec, this whole trilogy is going to like champion democracy. I can't have a monarch, it has to be an elected official. And then, of course, originally he was going to have Anakin and Padme both around like 16 to 18 years old. But then he was like, well, a big part
of... I want to make a kids movie.
And well, no, he said that the reason he kept the age in Anakin, and he kept on, like he went from like 18 to 16 to 14, down eventually to 9 years old, was because he was trying to say that being taken away from his mother caused all these issues with attachment and sort of letting go of people. Whereas if you're 18 and you're taken away from your mum, it's not that big a deal. You're going to miss her, but you're not going to be...
I was 18 and I was taken away from my mother, but let's not go there.
So
I turned out just fine.
Well, debatable, but we'll come back to that.
But yeah,
I'm going to tell Joe I don't want to.
So what? I think I was 12 years old when the Phantom Menace came out. And so it's like I definitely saw Anakin as a kid, but I totally saw Natalie Portman as like a 19-year-old.
No, I did not see her as a 19-year-old.
I was in high school. I was in high school when it came out. So I have this different perspective of like, I was old enough to go, oh, this is a kid's movie. Oh, it's worse because they weren't intending this to be a kid's movie. Oh, no.
Well, I remember watching it at the theater, and I was just in shock at the end. I'm like, I don't know what I just watched. It's like,
no, I was
told 11, this was Star Wars, but it's like
this. I was like 11, 12, I think, when the first one came out, Phantom Menace, and I remember seeing the trailer and being excited, except for the part when I saw this kid in a starfighter, and I was like, even as a kid, I didn't want to watch another kid in the starfighter because that felt unbelievable to me. But you know what? Because there was so little footage of Qui-Gon in that original teaser, I thought Phantom Menace was going to have like a time jump or span a period of time, and that we'd see Anakin as a kid, and then like it was Anakin and Obi-Wan fighting Darth Maul at the end. So more for me, I guess.
I think I'm going to write some fan fiction and just redo the whole prequel trilogy.
I've written some fan fiction, but I can't really share it.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh dear indeed.
Anyway, Sam said we weren't supposed to be talking about Star Wars.
Yeah, you literally depressed him so much he became the top head of security.
I said we're not talking about Star Wars if you're going to start arguing about debating things.
Oh, me and Spacetime are fine. We'll hug it out later.
One day I'd actually like to see you two hug.
Define hug. That's what she said.
A quick embrace. Very quick, about 2 seconds.
I wanted to know, are we going to talk about Space-Time changing his name? Because I know that was something he said he was thinking about on your last stream.
Uh-oh.
I've noticed that it's now become official.
Oh wow! Yeah.
See,
I changed
I
it.
pay attention.
Literally just did it last night.
What did you change it to?
I changed it to Professor Spacetime.
Oh.
No more Spacetime Brick Studio.
Yeah, that's like when I went from Lego Joe, which could get me a takedown notice real quick, to Skylab Bricks.
Yeah, I remember we told you that.
Yeah, we all told you that in the Facebook chat.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, don't Joe, don't do that.
No,
like, no way.
Let me tell you a story about a man named Kevin Hinkle.
Well, this is a story. No, never mind.
Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I'm out. See ya. Bye.
Oh, I just saw a meme this week referencing that, and I'm trying to remember what it was because it was so good.
What, the original reference or the meme?
No, the meme. The meme.
I'm
is
disappointed that no one's reacted to what I posted in the memes thread on the Cut the Craggle Discord. I thought it was funny.
What was it?
I mean, I logged in the other day, but Mrs. Craggle beat me to it.
Oh yeah, you said that.
I was so shocked because I'm like, oh, I'm going to share this with everyone because I'm expecting a package. And then it's like, is she on the same meme page that I am?
I don't know.
I'm just watching the little counter go up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she has to be because she also posted one about the account on Sesame Street.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, I saw that one. He's like, who's your favorite literary vampire? The one on Sesame Street? He doesn't count. I can assure you he can.
Well, apparently I am the Count from Sesame Street. Apparently when I talk on my videos, I sound like him. Hi, and welcome back to Cut the Craggle.
That's awful.
Okay, I see your post, but I don't get it.
He's meant to be a blind guy.
Yeah, look what he's holding.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a cane. I thought it was like a Halloween sword. Because I'm like, is he cosplaying as like Zorro or
Zorro? That is... Oh my word! Oh, that's funny.
That's pretty funny.
So I guess I should probably put this public now. Then let's have a look. What is it?
When we started, Peter, you said you had some good news or something. Was it the name thing?
Was it?
Or you had a good week?
It was a good week.
Okay.
Things happen.
Okay.
I think Sam was showing off his ship.
Joe, are you busy?
Huh?
Are you busy?
Me?
Yeah, lots on at the moment.
Like this very second or in my life right now?
No, over the next couple of weeks or so. I need some design work done. I need to contract someone out here.
Oh no. What do you need?
I need you to design a stand for this monstrosity.
Oh jeez. Okay.
It looks like it's a dog pointing on the back.
I mean, the bottom's not really a lot to work with, but
that's what she said.
When you take it apart on studio, you'll look at the inside of it and go, I recognize this. This looks awfully familiar.
Okay. All right.
Sam, lift that up again. Tell me that thing on the back doesn't look like a dog pointing, like with his tail out.
It does. Yeah. Or like a fox or something. But
that is the top pointy thingy, as described in my instructions.
Yeah.
Top pointy thingy.
I didn't know what to call it, so I said top pointy
thingy. This is the top pointy thingy, as described in episode such and such, We don't know what it does. The end.
Yeah.
Speaking of instructions, Sam, how are you getting on?
Well, now that this is pretty much done, all my time is going to be devoted to you.
Oh.
Oh, baby.
Already?
But well, no, it's not.
Does Mrs. Craggle know about this?
Yeah, I think she'd probably be glad of the respite, to be honest with you.
So, Sam, I was checking out the position that you shared on LinkedIn for your company.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, in my professional advice, don't come work for us.
I saw it was a local hire thing, and I'm just looking at the people who have been applying, and it's like some people from the Congo, Nigeria, and Belfast. And I'm like,
yeah, no, I had a guy from India who was also basically on it. I filtered it out, so basically because it said local hire, it automatically rejects anybody who's not in the country, effectively.
okay.
So it rejected a guy from India. It rejected a guy from the Congo. It rejected another guy from India, another guy from somewhere else. And I was there going, oh, well, this saves me a load of time of basically rejecting them because they're not in a commutable distance.
So I'm going to change my location to Tamworth, and then I'm going to click the easy apply button.
You do not. I'm going to get a message the moment you apply, right?
Well, at least I know I have an in.
You don't want to work. Trust me.
How many times can I say it? You don't want this.
I can has money too.
That's good English.
It's not good money.
I am job.
Let's put it this way.
I am job.
Wait, what's that from?
I was just doing the cat meme. I can has cheeseburger.
I can have, but
I am job.
What's that from?
That's Darmok at Tanagra.
No, that is not.
And the walls fell.
Yeah. What is it? You gotta help me here, Craggle. What is that?
Hello.
I've been watching a lot of his videos. They've been popping up on my feed.
It's Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yep.
I haven't seen that forever.
Oh, I thought you were doing the beluga whale because I was thinking of Graham Norton.
Hello. I'm a beluga whale, you know. Hello.
I saw Jimmy Carr's in trouble now.
Again?
Apparently, he did a Netflix special with some Holocaust jokes.
Oh, sounds about right.
Oh.
Yeah, he put a disclaimer on the front saying these jokes are basically career enders, so be warned. And then people watched it anyway and got offended.
Oh boy.
What happened? I mean, before, you know, Billy Connolly, like it was famous. Like he used to swear so much in his live acts, and he used to say, like, you know, if you don't like that kind of humor, you're easily offended. Don't come to my acts. And like, it was just something like a women's feminist group went there for like their social night out and got really upset that he made sexist joke and then tried to cancel him in the 90s before canceling someone was a thing. You know, it was like what.
I mean, to cancel someone in the 90s, you just take your phone off the hook.
Sam, do you know the survey that I'm going to put public now? Can I ask a question? When you went on it, does it reveal any of my personal information, like my email address or name or anything like that at all?
It didn't show anything about you at all.
Okay, great stuff.
I didn't know who I was filling this form in for.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure if they're asking for my social security number, I should not type it in.
You haven't done it, have you, Space Time?
What's that?
You haven't filled it in, have you?
I haven't.
No.
But I looked at it.
He looked at it, saw the price.
You're one of the people that annoys me that like likes the post but doesn't interact with like what I'm saying.
I mean, I had to think about it. I didn't know there was a time limit on it.
Well, I need to make some decisions by the end of this weekend, really. So
okay.
I put like 3 posts on there, like saying like I need kind of like answers. I'm wanting to give first refusal to my members, but if like only 3 people answer, I'm gonna have to make it public, or just make decisions myself, or based on those things on there. So, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Yeah, Joe, I'll send you this IO file so you can laugh.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you know what the great thing is if you did your ship in the way I think you've done it, it'll be easy for me to just drop in my pre-made.
The only problem you've got is this thing's got quite a hefty weight to it in comparison to Skylab.
Okay.
And evidently it's longer. But
I did over-design the Skylab stand. If you could tell me, if you could, take your model and point out where the center of gravity is, that would actually
without breaking it, preferably.
Without breaking it.
But you don't care about the center of mass.
Shut up.
Oh.
Yes, center of mass.
Because they're technically different, but
they are technically different. Yes.
I remember I got kicked out of the science lesson in school because this female science teacher was talking about being weightless, and I use inverted commas, in zero gravity in space, and said, so I guess all the girls here would love to go there because they finally be weightless. To which I replied, well, surely that would be mass, not weight anyway. But also, I don't think girls have a problem with how much they weigh, but they just don't want to look fat. You'd still look the same, just floating around. I got kicked out of the lesson.
Yeah.
Right, Joe, it's about there.
Like right under the wings, huh?
Pretty much. Which is where roughly I had to stand anyway.
Okay. All right.
Well, if you do that, you can do it yourself then, don't you?
Yeah, I know, but Joe's...
He wants a Skylab Bricks limited edition.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would rinse him for this. I would charge him every penny he has.
Oh, don't worry. I'm keeping a tally here. Yeah, don't worry. All the favors I've done for Sam. It is a scroll that I will unroll, and it will just keep unrolling and unrolling.
Hang on. Let me go get the notebook that says all the favors I've done for Joe Chambers.
2 or 3 things.
2 or 3 things.
The thing is, I want to know is, does all the favors that I do for Joe Chambers equate to I'm able to plagiarize him for the inner of my marks or something? Because if you say that,
I don't know what you mean.
The inner build of that you tell me was completely plagiarized from Joe's.
It's not just Joe's. It's from my Black Arrow.
The Black Arrow is from Joe, so it's like a photocopy of a photocopy.
I was going to say,
technically,
if anything, it's plagiarizing the community because it's basically that's how everyone builds rockets.
I mean, you could
correct.
The Saturn V.
I think
everything comes from the Saturn V. What that did, everybody went, let's just copy that.
Well, and I've thought about it a lot. It is a really good way of building big phallic symbols.
It really is.
Tried to change it.
Have you considered making something more anatomically correct for like a museum?
What?
Like making you get enough flesh-colored pieces to make something anatomically correct for a museum art piece.
Look at what is standing behind Sam. Yes.
I'm surprised the space-time lowered the tone so much. I feel like he spent too much time with me. But I was just saying, I think it was Bruce Timm who said about he was talking about story writings when he got accused of taking like the idea from a previous comic, but then he said no, actually he got it from the comic that comic ripped it off of, and he said the first 2 times is plagiarism, the third time you're creating a genre.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and I've been in lots of bands. And it's what is the phrase? Imitation is the best form of flattery.
Oh, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Yeah,
The sincerest form of flattery. Yes. Which didn't mean I had to make music sound exactly like Breaking Benjamin, but I did.
Is that also why you made yourself look like Iceman from X-Men?
I, dearly, sincerely wish you'd shut the fuck up about that. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
You know, I think I must be going quackers because I swear when those things had minifigures on them behind Space Time, I thought they were black backgrounds. It's obviously a false memory, but I don't know why. I thought he had like black squares with minifigures on, not white ones.
Hang on a sec. Now we know about false memories here. Someone's going to go check a video. You want to share the screen.
No, he's going to want to see, there's a gunship right there.
Well, this is the point. I'm giving Space-Time a chance to get even here, aren't I? You know?
I need to go Photoshop some videos.
Yeah, just do it really poorly so it looks funny. Like that.
Oh, trust me, there was no other option but poorly.
Did you see the picture of that construction company who like finished a building and no one was wearing like masks at this like they're opening the building party, and so they just went in and crappily like put masks on everyone's face in the picture.
We were watching someone review a horrible Christmas movie last night.
Okay.
And basically it came down to they needed a perfect photo for the ad campaign for their jewelry company.
Okay.
And just long story short, they found this picture of holding hands together that they accidentally took of themselves. And they're like, that's perfect, but there's not a ring on it. So it shows her photoshopping the ring onto the picture and presenting it for the ad campaign. When you look at what they delivered as the final product for this ad campaign, the ring is going through half the finger. It's like people making the movie just slapped it on there. And like, it's done.
Done.
Do you know in which one was it? In Skyfall, there's a whole thing where Daniel Craig's hands are CG, a whole scene. And the reason being is that when they were filming, Daniel Craig went out and bought a pair of designer leather gloves and said to Sam Mendes, the director, I feel like Bond would wear these. So Sam Mendes, couldn't be bothered arguing with Daniel Craig, who was the talent, and was like, yeah, okay, it's just a pair of gloves, wear them if you want to. They filmed the whole scene, and then they realized that in the movie, they introduced that he had a gun that would only unlock when it recognized his palm print.
Oh.
So they had to basically spend, I think it was a ridiculous amount of money CGing the gloves out of an entire sequence.
Another example of Cavill's mustache.
Yep, I was about to say Cavill's mustache.
That's the name of that trope.
Yep. So you got an acute case of Cavill's mustache. That's got to get some penicillin for that one. Oh. So I'm really liking my new job, and I don't want to say anything negative about them, so I won't.
But
I am very much enjoying my new job. It's my direct supervisor, who is I like him. He's a fun guy to talk to, but he's also a rabid anti-vaxxer. And he's at home right now with COVID.
Sorry.
And I got so mad at work on Thursday because I had to go home early and get a test done because homeboy didn't want. It just blew my mind. Ugh. Anyway, just thought I'd.
You're good?
Yeah. Anyway, it's Utah County. What do you want?
I mean, I feel like you're getting wound up over nothing. You know that COVID doesn't exist, right? It's just the Democrats.
We go. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. My Etsy shop is currently not working because reasons that I don't want to get into. Anyway,
I should say, for those out there who don't have a sense of humor, I am joking.
Yeah, thank you. I'm mentally exhausted by that subject. I just don't even like.
I mean, It's been like 2 years.
Oh yeah.
So I can understand that.
And I've got family members, thankfully not in this house, who are immunocompromised, and so like I am just extra cautious and extra worried, and I'm also a very worrisome person. So
Joe,
but,
you mean those people matter?
Yeah.
You mean being selfish and not wanting to do something that you can do to help everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Just because
no, Peter, what you don't understand is like it's all like the vaccines are unsafe for you, and that's what they're not telling you in the mainstream media. And my friend's doctor who lives in Idaho said don't get the vaccine, so yeah. I didn't want to
banner that when we talk about these things, I need to put "This is sarcasm." Please note, this is sarcasm.
Please note, this is sarcasm.
How many times I've got in trouble because I've said something sarcastically and people think that I'm being genuine.
But wait, I thought sarcasm and dry humor was the way of the British Isles.
Well, this is what I mean. I mean, when I'm talking to Americans.
Okay. Well, I'm also a very sarcastic person, so like when you guys are being sarcastic, I'm like, oh yeah, that's sarcasm. I approve.
Yeah, that's why I like you and why I don't like space time.
So, speaking on people not getting sarcasm,
he just moved on.
There was a live stream the other day. It was by Sans. He's currently compiling a list of the worst Lego set ever. And I sent a comment on the live stream saying, I find this live stream highly offensive. The Lego group puts out amazing products on everything, and they are immaculate and are immune to criticism. So it got a chuckle out of Sans, and then someone in the comments like, "You can't be serious." And then I just responded to him like, I'll be sure for my next comment to signify my sarcasm better.
I'll be honest. I understand you being sarcastic better over text than I do speech.
Huh.
That is only exclusively with space time, though. I just think it's his delivery. That's sometimes when he's joking, it goes over my head. But when I'm talking to him, like over Discord, DM, or email, whatever, I get it because I read it in my own voice.
Oh, it's my voice. That's the problem.
My voice.
Thanks for that. I just realized that was a very lovely way of insulting you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to be that. That was not my intention.
Do you know that American comic Stephen Wright? His whole entire comedy routine is just monotonic deadpan. So it's like
that's fun. What if I got on one day and I was like, guys, I had an accident. This is my new voice.
I was going to say that comic, Stephen Wright, is he the one that is referenced in Family Guy?
Yes, yeah.
When it says, I put spot remover on my dog and now he's gone.
Yep.
Okay. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab something.
Well, apparently I'm getting cancelled in the next episode of the stream.
Oh, no.
Who said? MC Messner, thank you. We love you too, I suppose.
Speak for yourself.
Wow.
Wow, who let Savage space time out to play today?
I'm telling you, he spent too much time with me. I've rubbed off on him a little bit. He was such a nice, polite boy, and then I told him there was a gunship, and look what happens.
What you two do in your own time is your business.
Oh,
I
come on,
only
don't
have
get-
so
don't get-
much love to go around, and I prefer it to be consensual. So I don't want people sharing it for me.
Oh, look, Joe's got a giant taco.
I don't want to hear about no rubbing.
Tacos.
That was a
rubbing.
fake out. I was like, it's done. And then
It's not. So you brought up worst Lego sets ever. This is a non sequitur. This is not the worst, but
tedious.
yeah. So I'm about halfway done with it. It is pretty impressively sized, but being like next to it, the studs are more annoying than in the pictures.
You want it
See, I
tiled
wouldn't
off?
have a problem with studs on a Star Destroyer because I always remembered it being like lots of greebling and not being a smooth surface. So
Yes,
Yeah.
but greebling looks different. Like I don't.
yeah, I know, but at that scale, I feel like the studs is a good approximation of it. You know, I'd rather that have studs than have tiles. So that makes sense.
If you tiled off the top, Joe, do you think it would look good?
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna do tiles in like armor looking patterns. You know, I'm gonna try a few different things and see if I can make it look better.
And I'm guessing you still haven't found a SSD IO file yet.
I haven't.
And
Oh. Yes, this is my best friend Cameron Lunt or Neely. We've been friends since we were 10.
oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hang
He's a
on.
history
Whoa. You
Huh.
have friends outside the three of us.
I don't know. Neely, can you confirm? Yes, no. Are we still friends? after a
Joe,
while?
I just want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You have friends. What's it like?
It's a warm feeling, like here.
Heartburn?
Here or here?
Kind of like heartburn, but good. I don't know how to describe it.
It doesn't sting like acid reflux?
No,
Okay.
no. Maybe. Wait. Is all my
We might have to have you on the show soon then, Neely, if there's stories to tell.
We... No! Oh God, no! No!
Wait, so we have two people in the chat called Neely?
So Neely is his nickname that he's had since I don't know, like 14.
Is that
or
because he's
15.
always on his knees?
Because he's praying.
No, for sucking dick.
Quick, where's the banner? The banner's gone.
we lost Peter. Oh no!
Oh my god. Please don't turn his camera off.
Oh no! Welcome to the stream. So so Neely is a history teacher, and he wanted me to ask you, you fellas, how you're liking your prime minister, Sam.
I have a prime minister.
Ah,
You know,
He
I
goes
thought
on
it was just some
picnics,
guy
right?
who wandered in and said, I'll try this job today.
what's the worst thing about this situation is that, like, I'm not for getting rid of him because I can't think of anyone better to replace him. That's the problem. He's awful, but there's not another candidate, really, is there?
Can't Tony Blair come out of retirement?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So we can go to another war in the Middle East.
North Korea next, mate.
Yeah, okay.
If Tony Blair comes back, we'll be in North Korea.
As someone who has been
Is
to
Margaret
South
Thatcher
Korea-
still alive?
What?
Is Margaret Thatcher still alive?
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
I'm just listing prime ministers that I know by name.
Who is
Keep going. Eventually, you'll find someone who was decent.
Well, in all fairness, I think some of them is Tony Blair was decent up until he decided to get on his knees in front of George W. Bush and then go to war. For like,
yeah.
I would say for the first 6 years, he was pretty decent.
Well, apart from when he was responsible for all the firefighter strikes, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I actually forgot about that.
Because that although that was back
when
into
was
the
that, though?
90s, early 2000s, that was. So that
Ooh,
was
I like
literally-
Lady Sam B's suggestion.
Oh, Hugh Grant.
Someone
Hugh
can watch it,
Grant.
love, actually.
You know, I still think Hugh Grant would be a good doctor. I know it's a weird left-wing choice, but there you go.
But an even better prime minister.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
he
He,
just
he did start banging his cake lady, you know. So
No.
goes
What
up
we
around
need-
the
can you imagine
houses.
Hugh Grant saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman"?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Monica Lewinsky.
Well, if we're throwing anyone in the ring, I think we just go with Rowan Atkinson.
Now that's a man we could get behind.
No, wait. No. What you guys need is Sean Connery as Captain Marco Ramius from The Hunt for Red October. He just plays Marco Ramius the whole time.
You know,
As
Sean
your
Connery's
prime
dead, right?
What?
Sean Connery's dead.
What?
It's been like a year.
Evidently, Joe didn't know.
I know. That was pretty much my reaction when I found out.
See, this is so.
Yeah.
Really, is a history teacher. He knows so much about this stuff. That
Right.
He's right. Yep.
I think, I'll be honest with you, Sam, even with the firefighter strikes, I feel like up until going into war, Tony Blair was still quite fondly looked upon. You know, because
I would disagree, but that's because my father was a firefighter and I saw what he was doing to that, so I've got the personal experience.
Well, okay, yeah.
So
I
that's why I
think in terms of the
disagree.
general public, though, I think that was the how he was perceived.
I remember
especially
writing
considering
him as a
that he
letter.
He
As
came
in-
after, the long run of Margaret Thatcher, and then Margaret Thatcher's little male buddy, John Major, so...
I remember writing Tony Blair a letter when I was 8 or 9, basically saying, why are you trying to kill my dad and all his friends by sending him to burning buildings without the right equipment, without the right pay and all that? Why do you hate my dad?
I remember that, because I remember they brought the military in, didn't they, to act as firefighters, and they were giving them crash courses on how to fight fires. It was like, here's a pro tip, don't use your machine gun. Yeah.
You Europeans know how to do a strike. Holy shit!
Yeah, we don't mess around.
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, have you seen what's going on in New Mexico? They don't have enough school teachers, so they have the National Guard teach in school.
Are you serious?
Oh God, no!
They have the National Guard as teachers.
And this kids, this is the American flag. You will die for this.
Because
And
apparently they're out
next to you is your
with something.
M1.
I don't know what it is.
Instead of bringing around a rosies, they've gone saying, "This is my rifle, this is my gun, this is for fighting, this is for fun."
This is my rival. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Suddenly it turns into a scene from Starship Troopers.
Oh, my
Yes.
word.
I
This
love
is
that
a fully
movie.
Automatic burrito. Who wants to hold
Not
it?
many people didn't realize that film was a satire.
Yeah, because they got
What
pissed
the
off.
line?
They were like, why is this fascist propaganda playing in my movie theater? And it's like,
And that's-
this is
And
you.
that's when the
This is the
filmmakers
movie.
just went,
But also, he upset the cast years later when he said that he deliberately cast stupid people so that the actors themselves didn't know that they were in a satire.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is when they're ambushed and they have the little support craft coming in to pick them up, and Michael Ironsides gets ripped and rips apart.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Everything about that scene I love. I love that it's actually
Rico!
shot on location. Shot on location. It's a great blend with CGI, and then to top it off, we have a miniature flying in of a spacecraft to come pick him up. It's peak 90s of like using your whole arsenal of tools to make a.
You know what? I
awesome
rewatched it
Now I
recently
know.
when it came
I know
on.
Neely is going to be laughing at this because that's one of our favorite movie quotes ever that we are always laughing about. Rico, you know what to do, and then he shoots Michael Irons.
Do it, Rico.
Do it, Rico.
But the music of that scene too just gives me goosebumps, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited when he pops out and he's like, the cavalry's here, and it's like,
and as someone who is obsessed with space battles, I loved the design of those starships. I loved it. They were just so like boxy. I don't know what it is about them, but like,
yeah,
they were just so cool looking.
What are you gonna say, Craggle?
I was going to say I rewatched it recently when they brought it on Star on Disney Plus, and I actually couldn't believe how well the effects held up. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some,
Isn't it? It's awesome.
but I honestly, I went into expecting them to look, like these look shit now, but no, it actually looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Like it's a perfect blend of CGI, classical optical effects, and like miniature. I love it.
And I only this time rewatching it recognized that the guy who signs up Rico to the infantry and says it made me the man I am today is actually the coroner from CSI Vegas.
Mm-hmm. And he's on no, never mind.
I don't know.
He's on a bunch of things.
I know just because it's like it's gone over some people's heads, but I just love how every adult in the military in society is just horribly maimed.
Horribly maimed from their service in the military. Like their teacher is blind. Michael Ironside has one arm. The recruiter dude is missing all of his limbs. And it's just like you're just like, wow, everyone's really maimed. Oh. Because
Service
in the military.
Citizenship through service.
It's also a film that has aliens used their farts as artillery cannons.
Yes, of course.
So.
It's bug plasma, man. It should be
I
random.
don't get why they didn't realize it was a satire when it's like stylistically it has a lot in common with RoboCop, which obviously he made as well. But they got the RoboCop was a satire, but
and a lot of people didn't get that either. You know, they just.
I know a lot of people didn't. I know a lot of like mainstream audiences didn't get RoboCop as a satire, and I think you can enjoy it on both levels anyway. But as far as I'm aware, the critics understood that RoboCop was a satire, and that's why they didn't like the sequels because they forgot that. Yeah. But the same critics then watch Starship Troopers and they think that that's meant to be taken seriously? Like are they for real?
Man, it would be nice to see Paul Verhoeven make a movie like that again. I think someone says he's like making art films now.
Holy crap! I just realized
I snuck into the. No, I didn't sneak into the theater. I had one of my friends take me to see that movie because I wasn't 18 yet and it was rated R. And my parents knew that something was up because I told them I went to see the Mr. Bean movie.
Which one?
You did
the first one, like 97, 98.
Well, that's a good movie.
I know.
I had a picture of you in my mind. Never knew I could be so wrong.
I haven't actually seen it, so that's the point. I never saw that movie. I saw Starship Troopers.
I gotta be honest. I feel like it's a close tie for which one's the best.
Okay, all right. I'll believe you.
I don't.
I just realized something. Earlier, I think it was last year, or no, in 2020, I bought the Steelbook of Total Recall on Blu-ray, and I realized that it came with the 4K disc, and now I have a 4K player, so I can watch Total Recall in 4K, and I'm really happy.
You can see all those blood squibs just.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When he's going up the escalator.
That is the word. Like,
see you at the party.
Like, oh boy, they're really not cutting any corners with this. He's using a random innocent civilian dead guy as a shield.
Do you think he actually went to Mars, or do you think that's all in his imagination?
I lean towards it's all in his imagination.
Okay.
That's what I'm leaning toward. I only saw it once, but that's the impression I got through the whole movie was like, yeah, this is all in his head.
What about you, Sam?
Brace yourself.
It's not a kid, it's a fully grown man, but yeah.
I forgot, Neely, that was also one of your favorite quotes. Brace yourself.
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself. Wait.
Oh, yeah, Sam, what do you think about Total Recall? Dream or real?
I don't know. I've always been on the 50-50 with it. Although I do lean more towards a dream.
Wait, we are talking about the end of Inception, right?
Yeah, well, don't get started on
me. I'm not 100%, but I lean more to it being real. And the thing that I lean to it being more real is the fact that he was dreaming about Mars and that girl before. And it seems weird that they be able to implant the girl exactly how she is in his dreams. Like, okay, they give him a rough approximation of what, like, you know, demeanor and what sort of body type do you like.
See, and I've seen some people make the argument because of that.
Yeah, I've seen some people say that basically they kind of put something in that brings up your unconscious and you fill in the gaps, which makes sense as well. But there was also someone said about, oh, but they say blue skies on Mars is the mission that they put into his head. But at the same time, that's on a newsreel that there's a conspiracy about that beforehand. So some people say, well, no, it just shows that Total Recall are taking stuff from current events.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, that's in both.
And that's what's great. I like movies that have a open interpretation like that.
Which is why I brought up Inception is at the end, oh, does it fall down or not? If that's what you're stuck on, you're missing the point of that part of the movie.
Although when I watched it in the cinema, there was about 4 or 5 people who shouted out, oh, for crying out loud.
Oh, for crying out. Oh, God damn it.
I won't lie, actually. On that kind of note, but not to that extent. When I saw Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, we went on the opening night. It was me, the missus, and a guy from work. It was packed full of little kids. And when it came to that cliffhanger and it went black, the whole cinema was silent. And then you just heard me go, oh, for fuck's sake.
My closest thing to anything like that is probably just the Rise of Skywalker. When the Star Destroyer has a Death Star gun and blows up a planet, I just I'm laughing hysterically, and everyone around me. I didn't
say it out loud, but in my mind, I said, "Ah, for fuck's sake!"
I wanted to do the Seinfeld meme and just like be like, "I'm done."
I'm out.
Me, I had the same reaction in The Last Jedi when you said the laser used to break for the Rebels' doors is based on that technology. I'm like, really? You're going to keep on coming back to that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And also, I love the fact that they have this doorway, which is really sturdy and takes a super laser to get through. And it has this like cavern that bottlenecks the Imperial forces. But rather than stay in the cavern behind the door, where they spin out the Imperial army, they go outside the door and then they rush forward towards the Imperial. First
close the door.
And then because everyone was worried that they would say it was a copy of Hoth, you have one of the extras taste it and go, "It's salt.
It's salt."
And plus, it's at the end of the movie, not the beginning, so it's not Hoth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the walkers were going the other direction on screen, so instead of going right to left, they went.
I was
left to
disappointed
right.
because I remember when I went to Star Wars Celebration, they called them gorilla walkers, and they said the reason being is that the fronts of the front feet are more like hands, so they can climb up. And when I saw that cliff face, I thought we were going to see them like scale that, but no, they didn't do anything. They just walked. So what was the point?
Well, I mean, when you're creatively bankrupt, you just make an AT-AT.
You do like red letter media, don't you, Peter? No, I know where you're quoting from. That's all. Oh boy.
So, how much red letter media do you watch, Joe?
I watch every new episode.
Oh, it's so great to know someone who actually watches it.
I really like that.
They have a Bruce Willis video that just came out today.
They what?
Video on Bruce Willis.
I do like their commentary. Like, even when I don't agree with them, I'm like, I see where you guys are coming from. Yeah, I get it.
I don't like them because they said there wasn't a gunship.
Jesus.
So yeah, the video it's called the Bruce Willis Fake Movie Factory. And it's an hour long, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's funny with him though, because they wanted him to be an Expendables 3, and they offered him $3 million for 3 days, and he said, "No, I want $4 million for 3 days." So they went and got Harrison Ford instead.
Nice. Speaking of which, did you enjoy Ghostbusters? The new discs you got this week?
Who are you talking to?
Craggle.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of them, but we watched the film with my parents. They absolutely loved the new movie. Similar thing to me, they felt like it was a proper sequel that we should have had instead of the 2016 one. But I have watched the preview cut of Ghostbusters 84.
Okay.
Which is the one that they recovered. It was basically what they showed to the studio execs. I'm not sure if it's the same one that they sent to test audiences, or they showed test audiences, but it doesn't have a score, and like hardly any of the effects apart from the practical ones are in there. And it has like alternate takes, extended scenes, deleted scenes in there. But the only surviving copy of it was one of the people who worked at the studio found the VHS of it, so it's been transferred from an old VHS tape. And I mean, I guess your enjoyment of it will depend on how much of a fan you are of Ghostbusters. But
yeah, that seems like a real finely tuned thing to want to watch.
Well, the thing is, what I was amazed by is that I loved it, yes, as a fan, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And some of the deleted scenes I've seen or read about in other capacity. But even without the score, and even with some of the takes where I was like, yeah, they definitely chose a better take in the final film, it was still a film that I was engaged with. I still felt like the pacing, the story, the build-up thing, it all still worked. And I think that's a testament to how well the first film was crafted,
Yeah.
I mean, apparently when they showed the preview they showed to test audiences, they didn't have the effect of the terror dogs inside Dana's fridge. So they literally had Sigourney Weaver open the fridge, put a thing up said effect here, then her screaming and running out the apartment, and the audiences applauded because they were thought it was amazing. They were like, "Oh my god, what the earth did she see it?"
So 2 questions. 1, do they still have the hand groping Sigourney Weaver's breast? And 2, did Luke still throw away the lightsaber in that version?
Wait, what?
Everyone says about the hand over the breast. It doesn't. It goes over the breast for the shoulder bone, and apparently as well, I've heard on the thing from Sigourney Weaver, one of the many documentaries, is that the guys who were operating that were being overly cautious, and she just went and grabbed it by the wrist, and went, "Here, grab me here, grab me here, grab me here."
Okay.
So it was, it wasn't like she.
It was more of a. Okay.
Yeah.
It was more of a.
But there is a lot of people who try to find misogyny in that movie and trying to say that it's anti-women. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's definitely a film that has a primary male cast, but the 2 main female characters in there are, they're well-rounded, well-written. This damsel's in distress. Janine is sassy as heck and doesn't take crap from anybody. Dana is arguably more competent than the guy she hires to help her with a problem, you know?
So
I will say there's a couple of lines actually in the apartment scene between Peter and Dana, which builds up their chemistry a bit better than in the final film that I kind of wish they kept in. Just a couple of lines, and just like Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray, they have palpable chemistry in real life, and I think that's why it works so well.
Picking up or dropping off.
There's actually a great scene. There's a really sweet scene that was cut from the montage where Egon's working at this a microscope, and Janine brings him a coffee, and she looks over at him, and then she lifts him up, and he's fallen asleep at the microscope, and then she just gently places him back on it. And I was like, why was that not in the film? It was just a great shot. I was in tears.
That's funny. It is 2:45. Wow.
What, PM, AM, or?
Oh, sorry. It's 2:45 p.m. for me.
Okay. Is that bad?
No. I didn't know what time it was, and I just checked it. And I'm like, oh, wow. We've been at this.
You're not forgetting to pick up like a child or a small human somewhere.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Clark's still at the McDonald's. He's in the.
I forget that your child is called Clark as well. So when you said that, I thought you were making a Brick Attack reference then for some reason.
Oh, what?
Brick Attack. He's one of my other American YouTube buddies, and his son is called Clark.
Okay. All right. No. Wow. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
popular regular.
Slightly unique, but.
Was your son named after Superman?
Nope.
Well, he was.
Okay. If anything, he was named after Arthur C. Clarke, but not really. Like
What about James Clerk Maxwell?
Who's that?
Well, I guess that's a no then.
I'm kidding. Maxwell's
Well, his name's Clerk, right?
Huh?
It's James Clerk Maxwell.
Is it?
I think it's CLERK.
Okay. Man.
He's Scottish.
We just thought it was a very classic sounding name that wasn't overdone and wasn't. There's this huge trend here in Utah of people just like making up names, and it's really obnoxious.
I mean, that's totally what I'm gonna do if I ever get the chance.
Yeah,
to name a
but
bee.
one of my wife's best friends from high school, their first son's name is Aston, Aceton.
What?
And I'm just like,
So
oh,
doing school photography, I got to see a lot of crazy made up names.
oh god,
This one girl's name was Absidy, and it was spelled
ABCDE.
And my favorite was this kid's his last name was Washington, and his parents named him Seattle.
Oh,
You know what's funny is there's a celebrity. I use the term celebrity again in the loosest term possible. In the UK called Katie Hopkins. She's basically known for being universally hated. And she was in a program before where they were talking about like children's names and like how there's been an influx of people wanting to change their name when they reach a certain age. And she said, "Oh, I hate when parents name their children after places." To which one of them pointed out, "Wait, your daughter's called India."
Yeah.
So now this one's no joke. Our neighbors in down in Springville, whatever. Their last name was Walker. Their oldest son's name was Luca. His middle name was Sky. Skywalker. Anyway.
It's like the most popular name apparently when Game of Thrones was at its peak was Khaleesi, and it's like, well, Khaleesi's not her name; it's her title. It's just Dothraki for Queen. But also after the Series 8, they really want them to keep that name now.
Yikes!
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Neely says the double E thing at the end of names here in Utah is kind of out of control. That's true. And you're like, yeah, Neely's a teacher. He's seen it. Kylie with 2 E's. Kendry with 2 E's.
What worries me here, Joe, is how good you are at that.
It reminds me of Jimmy Fallon's late night sketch. What is it?
Please don't repeat anything to do with that man on this stream.
All right, then. Oh, anyway, I wanted to state that I gave in the temptation and I flipped my Ghostbusters collector's thing on eBay.
Your box set?
Yeah. What?
Oh.
What'd you say?
Who, me?
Yeah. What did you say?
What, your box set? You mean the Ghostbusters Blu-ray box set?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you had the one that had the lights, right, and the slip covers and the digital code. We didn't even get the slip covers, by the way, in the UK.
Ooh. Yeah. I kept it wrapped up and just sold it. So I'm assuming there were lights on it.
Like the lights, I can kind of understand to a degree because they said apparently they should do with like importing stuff with batteries in. But why they didn't do slip covers or digital codes, I don't know. But overall, we just got screwed. We paid double like the Americans did for less.
I sold it for $250. So I made more than twice, less than 3 times back.
So is that why you're taking today off working?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can retire now for the week.
Do you know what? To add salt into the wounds, right? Apparently, Sony are now considering releasing a disc-only version. So all the people are like in UK, like we got ripped off. We don't have lights. We don't have slip covers. We don't have digital codes. But this is the only way to get access to the all-new special features that are exclusive to this set. Some of you are like, yeah, about that. We're thinking about doing a disc-only version.
So I don't know what that means exactly.
So, like, the box set is basically in the UK was £150, which is a lot more than what it was in the States. But we didn't have we had the Ghost Trap style box, but it doesn't light up. We didn't get the slip covers for the Blu-ray cases to make them all look like uniform.
Okay.
And we didn't get digital codes. What they're saying now, Sony, is because like it was popular and so many people are saying, "Well, I wanted to get the special features. I wanted to get that." They're on about releasing basically like a slimline version. Doesn't have the special packaging, doesn't have the book, doesn't have the lights, just has the discs with the special features. And
so like a standard release Blu-ray.
Yeah, but with all the discs in there, so all the stuff. And a lot of people are saying, well, we got ripped off, but it was the only way to get those exclusive special features. That won't even be exclusive anymore. So
wait, are we talking about Ghostbusters again?
Huh? It was quite funny because when you tilted your head back like that, it looked like the phallic-shaped objects were going down your throat.
That's what she said.
Well, I think I need to head out and get some food.
Man.
I don't know how long you were planning on going, Sam.
Another 8 minutes.
Another 8 minutes. 2.5.
Wow.
Going for an extra half hour.
Wow, we are going 2.5 today.
I don't know if I can commit to that. I might have to drop out early.
That's fine. If you're going to drop out early, Crowder, you drop out early.
I'm joking.
You do you, buddy.
Well, let's face it, no one else is going to do me, are they?
I can hang out for another 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, man. Hold on.
So
suddenly it goes very quiet.
Yeah, we're talking about for 7.5 minutes.
Do you know who's playing in the Super Bowl?
What's the Super Bowl? Is it where everyone goes bowling in Superman costumes?
No, it's where you get in a line and collect soup.
Oh, okay.
Did you know I've been to the Super Bowl once?
No.
I went to Super Bowl 50 because my dad's company won some award with.
That's the extra large one, right?
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's very big. I was very impressed with all the sports ball players, and this team called Coldplay came out and trampled all the players.
That's the
and
best
apparently
part.
they won.
Because like, what was it? 2 years ago, they had J-Lo and Shakira as halftime show, and I'm like, it's never going to get better than that. Who are they? You know, I don't even know who it is this year.
Huh.
What are we talking about?
Jennifer Lopez and Shakira just killed it, and that was the best like 30 minutes of ever.
LA Rams and Cincinnati Bengals. Neely for the win.
You hear that? That is the sound of my soul leaving my body.
Because it's not real football. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you can see we don't care about sports ball at all either. We're talking about the entertainment.
I don't know, because I don't have any frame of reference to anything you're saying. So for all I know, you could be like sports fanatics or something.
So you don't know Jennifer Lopez or Shakira?
Not personally, no. I'm aware of their existence, though.
Oh, okay.
You don't know them personally? They just lived down the street from me.
Look up their Super Bowl halftime show. It is incredible. And the other one I enjoyed a lot was Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime.
Okay.
Who? Lady Gaga?
Yeah, Lady Gaga. She is a great performer. I love her.
Okay.
Wow. I didn't know what kind of music Space Time was into, but Lady Gaga was not what I would have picked.
I mean, she's one of the few modern artists I will listen to. I listen to mostly old music.
I think Lady Sam's going to be switching off.
Lady Sam, I think, yeah.
I don't blame her. I feel like I'm switching off here.
Oh, thank God, finally. What?
Sorry if I killed the stream.
So about that gunship.
Yeah. No. The one that Mace Windu gets into, Sam.
Okay. Let's talk about gunships. Why is that called a gunship? It is more of a transport craft.
You're right. It is, isn't it?
And that's what's always bothered me. And then when they get to talking about Lego sets, when they talk about the drop ship, that for the AT, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, and it's like, I just feel like it's so misnamed. Like there's not like an actual gunship in the Clone Wars.
No, it's a troop carrier. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah, and I hate it that they call it a gunship.
Well, I mean, if you look at historically, like the Huey back in Vietnam, that was considered a gunship, even though it was transport. Yeah, Neely, help me out here, man.
Yeah, I just like a gunship. I feel like is something that would be like protecting a group of transports.
Yeah, I feel like it would be something with artillery weapons on it or something, you know? Or...
Well, I mean, that Star Wars gunship, they do have those two big laser cannons on the front.
Yeah, but its primary purpose is transportation.
Troops.
Okay, let's see what the Wikipedia says a gunship is. A gunship is a military aircraft armed with heavy aircraft guns, primarily intended for attacking ground targets, either as airstrike or close air support. And they're listing the gunship, the AC-130H, which I think is
That's a C-130 gunship, yeah.
Lockheed Martin Spectre spooky gunship.
The B-25 bomber.
Oh,
yeah.
AC-47.
Okay.
The Mill Mi-24 is a helicopter gunship. It is not a troop carrier. The Fairchild and the Bell UH-1B gunship in Vietnam, which is a helicopter, but not a Huey.
Yep.
Because the Hueys were used to get them in and out fast.
But they did have versions of it that were considered gunships. Like they had more guns on them. Yeah.
Well, I'm with Space Time though. The Republic gunship is not a gunship. It's a troop transport, basically.
This is going to be my breakthrough in the Lego YouTube videos. Not a gunship.
Not a gunship. We're gonna.
I mean,
we're taking a hard stance on this one. It is not a gunship. It is an armored transport.
What are your opinions on doorknobs? If they're not round and spherical, I don't want to touch them.
I prefer handles to knobs.
See, I've got a lot of handles.
I've never been a fan of knobs.
The problem is with handles, though, if you catch yourself on it, they end up in places they shouldn't. Whereas a knob, it's just there.
So, Craggle, what does a knob mean in where you're from?
I said I'm not a fan of knobs deliberately. By the way, I will say that.
Okay.
It's another word for a phallic shaped object.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah. No, I did know that, but
don't worry, Joe.
The other thing about the gunship is that why does the pilot have yellow on him?
Oh no, I don't know.
I just remember some kind of yellow clone in that movie.
Well, there were blue ones, there were yellow ones, there were orange ones, there were red ones, there were green ones. There were ones you couldn't see because I think they were in a forest and they wore some kind of camouflage. I don't know.
There was a forest on Geonosis?
Yeah, because in the Star Wars universe, they have no concept of how big planets are. You don't ever have a planet that has one
biome,
or the desert planet, the forest moon of Endor. Like, the whole thing can't be a forest.
Well, I mean,
Star Wars alone is not guilty of that. I would say Star Trek, Doctor Who.
But that's also us assuming the whole planet's like that. Well,
when you see it like Tatooine from space, the whole planet is a desert.
So we can assume maybe it's standard issue in Star Wars that the axis of rotation is not tilted with the plane around its star. So because that's really what gives us seasons and what freezes the poles. So if you take that away, you're going to have even heating. So basically, your
but then you'd have
climate of the planet is going to be based off a distance from the star.
That's interesting.
And on that note, that was Science with Professor Spacetime. Boom.
I'm about to argue with you extensively, but it's also time to go.
Save that for next week, Joe.
I will bring documents. There will be documents.
No, don't save that because we all know that if anyone's job is to argue with space-time, it's mine.
Okay, I will send you the documents.
Good.
Right.
I will be critiquing.
Craggle, sell yourself. What are you up to this week? Again? What are you doing? What should we be checking out on your channel?
I just put a new community post up. I'm looking to do a limited run of free characters from my Ghostbusters Afterlife inspired sets as actual physical minifigures. So I'm looking for some feedback to shape the finished product. And I'm going to be doing a members only live stream tomorrow for my channel members. So if you're not a channel member already, you can join for the low price of 99 pence per month and be a part of that. And also there's going to be more stuff. We did a little tease earlier of my Back to the Future CMF, which is going to be coming out soon.
Awesome. That sounds great. I actually forgot you were doing a stream tomorrow night.
Yeah, so did I. I haven't scheduled it yet.
Got something to look forward to. Who shall I pick next? Professor Spacetime.
Things are changing.
Huh.
New channel name. Yeah. And new content. Different content. So all the time and space.
And everything in between?
Yep.
Amazing. We'll see you on your new channel then.
All right.
And we seem to have lost Joe, but in his place we seem to have found a weird pilot guy from Utah.
Garlic symbols.
What were you miming doing then exactly?
I don't know. I was just bouncing on my chair.
Bouncing.
Come check out my Etsy site when it's back online in like a day. Skylab Bricks, and I've got a few things on YouTube. Go find me. That's all. I'm kind of boring right now. I'm building my own things. I'm not releasing anything new for a couple months. That's all. And my background commentator, Neely Lund. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, that's us. It from everybody. Like Jacob says, if you could like the stream, subscribe, turn the bell on. You see more phallic-shaped objects each week. We'll bring them to you here on Saturdays. See you later next time, folks. Bye.
Bye.